Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. For my June 23rd garden column, I wrote about our pollinator garden. And since I haven't shown it to you in a while, I thought that would be the perfect topic for today's video. We created this bed 2 years ago in our front yard, and the goal was to attract as many pollinators and beneficial insects as possible. The first thing we had to do was to tear out the lawn, and that is definitely one of the hardest jobs a gardener can do. But it was so exciting to us because it was a project we'd been talking about for a while, and so we were excited to get it going. I just have to stop for a moment and show you this gorgeous day that we're experiencing. It's going to be pretty toasty, but what a beautiful, beautiful day. In addition to choosing plants that had different types of flower heads, I was also looking for wildflowers, perennials, and native plants. And I have to tell you, this garden has been such a joy for us because it is great fun coming out here at different times of day and seeing the different types of insects that are on and around the plants. And birds are attracted to it as well. One of the things that was a big criteria for me is drought tolerance. And that's because we live in a dry area. We're in eastern Washington, which is about 300 miles east of Seattle. We don't get as much rain as they do. And we try to be really mindful of not using a lot of water in our landscape. So those were the goals. Now I want to show you some of the really cool plants that are blooming and growing right now. Another thing I did is I got a packet of wildflower seeds from American Meadows, and the thing I like about them is you can choose based on your region so that you're going to get plants that are tough enough, hardy enough, and well suited to your conditions. So what you're looking at in the background are lupins, and they have been blooming their hearts out. Unfortunately, right now they're starting to fade, but I did want to show them to you. And then also in the lower left foreground, you'll notice a bright pink flower. Those are sweet williams, and they also were in the seed packet, and they have been popping up all over the place this year and blooming like crazy in interesting color combinations. I'll try to show you some more of them. And just to the right, you'll notice this red flowering plant. That is cardinal penstemon. And in addition to attracting pollinators, it attracts hummingbirds. They love those flowers. This aptly named plant is Oregon Sunshine. It is a drought-tolerant native plant, and the pollinators go nuts over it. All sorts of bees. Here's another native plant that the bees love. This is blanket flower, Gaillardia aristata. It is drought tolerant and it blooms a lot, so it adds a lot of color to the garden. This is the native form of columbine. It is western columbine, and I just love those coral and yellow flowers. How about these cool white spikes? This is a type of Baptisia, Baptisia alba, and that is white wild indigo. I think it adds an interesting structure to the bed, don't you? How do you like these bright orange Siberian wallflowers? Aren't they gorgeous? And right behind them is bee balm. I have a whole lot of bee balm in because, as the name implies, bees love it, but also hummingbirds think the nectar in the flowers is delicious. At the center of the bed, I have a bunch of milkweed flowers, and that's because I'm really hoping to attract monarch butterflies. So far, I haven't had any luck, but we are on part of the migration route, so, hope springs eternal. So what you're looking at in the foreground and also behind it is showy milkweed. That is Asclepias speciosa. And you'll also notice that there are some blooming right there. Really a beautiful plant. Here's another type of milkweed. This one is whorled milkweed, and that is Asclepias verticillata. Another drought-tolerant native plant that I'm hoping will attract the butterflies. I mentioned how the sweet williams are blooming like crazy. Here are just a few of the variations in blossom types. And very apt for someone who's married to a william. Here's another native plant. This is stiff goldenrod, and it will get 4 feet tall. Last year it just kept growing and growing and growing. I also have Canadian goldenrod, which is getting close to blooming. And in theory, it's only supposed to grow 2 to 3 feet tall, but I think this one made it up to maybe 4 or 5 feet tall last summer. You might find these plants interesting. So these are purple giant hyssop, or Agastache scrofularifolia. How's that for a name? And I saw these in Chicago at their amazing pollinator garden in Millennium Park, and they were absolutely covered with monarch butterflies. And so I thought, well, it's worth a try. Now they will grow 7 feet tall, and that's why I have them in the background of the bed so that they don't shade the others. And the last plant that I wanted to show you is this red flowered one, which is a butterfly weed. It is a type of milkweed. They are a really cool looking plant, and they certainly are attractive to the pollinators. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of our pollinator garden. You know, pollinators and beneficial insects need our help. So I hope that you'll consider planting your own garden that will cater to them and help them out. Now, if you go to my website, susansinthegarden.com, and do a search on pollinator garden, there are a few posts under there, but look at the one from May 2019 because it has a plant list. It's not everything I've planted, but it's most of everything. Thanks so much for watching today. Happy gardening, everybody.